Busch Light Pulling Nationals roars into town for 3 days of dirt-flying, engine-screaming, championship-level truck and tractor pulling action. The power, the noise, the wild rides, the winning runs. Grab your tickets, lock in your plans. Busch Light Pulling Nationals. Don't miss your shot to see it live.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the world watching on Full Pull Live to Southwest Indiana. We are here in Evansville, Indiana, the Vanderburg 4-H Center, as we are ready for session number 3 here of the Busch Light Nationals. I'm Dan Merrow, and we'll be joined by Charles Busch. We've got Miles Krieger and Ron Stone on hand to bring you all the action this afternoon. And Charles, we're already on to session 3. What a weekend it's been.
It has been an excellent weekend of pulling so far. I think everybody has been walking out on this track today would agree that as we have gone, proceeding from Thursday night right through to now, this track has gotten better and better and better. We're looking for some good horsepower to get laid down here in the Evansville dirt.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, I'm going to send it over here to Miles and Ron. And guys, today we are going to start giving away those special awards for our weekend winners.
You bet. That's going to be kind of an additional thing, as we start to hit the road and do some of these events from time to time. The sort of coveted award for the weekend winner has become a very special thing and something that is very sought after. And if you haven't seen one of these amazing gifts they're going to get to hear, they're worth it. You're going to want to win one.
And, of course, we got Ron Stone coming in from the other side of the river. And, Ron, what about that competition here this weekend?
Wow. If you weren't here last night, just wow. I mean, we saw fire, we saw smoke, we saw things blowing up, we saw major carnage out here. We had tears down there in emotion down here in the winner's circle. It was an awesome night of pulling. I'm looking forward to more today and tonight.
Absolutely. We got a picture-perfect day. We got a nice breeze for you fans out there. It's going to be an enjoyable day. Charles, I would say, what do you think for predictions here this afternoon?
Boy, it's a little bit tough. See, these guys have seen this track already once on Thursday night, but it was in a sundown situation, and then after sundown where the track would change on them. Today they got to contend with daylight where things could dry out on them, and it'll be a different situation as far as the random start for the order. How to predict it, I don't know. We saw last night the tendencies that existed in the track from Thursday night had been erased, so it's going to be yet another new proposition, I think, for our driver here tonight. Who can get it done this afternoon? I have no idea. I'm not going to make that call.
Wow, I guess I'm going to be put on the spot. Here's what I will tell you. I think this light super stock class, after everybody got their chance to see it the other evening, is going to have a really good idea of what to do and how to set things up. I'm anxious to watch Esden Lane come out with that smoker tractor again. And it's awesome to see him mixing it up. And we actually have 2 light supers here, of course, that are running with diesel catter. So that's awesome.
Yeah, my prediction is one heck of a show here this afternoon. Great weather, got great fans here, an awesome track. Going back to the light super class, can Brian Bowles make it 2 for 2 this weekend? Probably going to be the wildest class we're going to see out here this afternoon. Those lightweight supers, they had a wild ride out here Thursday night on this track. Looking for more of the same. Can Bowles do it again and take that prize back over on the other side of the Mississippi to Missouri?
Well, at this point, Charles, let's go meet our stars of the show this afternoon, as we will kick off first with the 9,300-pound Super Farm class. And our first hook in that class, piloting the Deer Tracks out of Manchester, Tennessee, is going to be Greg Freeze.
Starting second tonight out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, driving the Cornfield Express. Please welcome Darian Sturdivant.
Coming in out of Hopkins, Michigan, the risky business, Jason Shatendorf.
Driving Fear the Deer out of Boone, Iowa, Wayne Lamore.
Reedtown, Ohio brings us the J.D. Hog of Chris Weidinger.
From Allendale, Michigan, the veteran competitor driving Wolverine Deer, Tony Sietsema.
Coming to us out of Addison, Michigan, the Don't Ask ride, Mr. Brad Hart.
From Fairgrove, Michigan, on a 1066, he calls Press On, Lee Butts.
Addison, Michigan, we've got Assorted Nuts and Brooke Ferris.
From Dyersville, Iowa, with the Binder Express, Dan Schulte.
Coming down from Francisco, Indiana, the high maintenance, Josh Miley.
From Union City, Michigan, on the Crop Doctor, John Silsby.
Berrien Springs, Michigan, we've got the Hammer and Hank and Stan Warda.
From Addison, Michigan, on the Absolutely Nuts, Brooke Michael Ferris.
Out of Floyd Knobs, Indiana, the Super Hick Dave Batliner.
From Russellville, Kentucky, with dear friend unharnessed, Joe Seeley.
And filling out the class out of Jasper, Indiana, the running buck wild, Alex Schwank. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all our Super Farm competitors a nice round of applause.
Our second class on the grandstand side, the Ohio Valley Tractor Pullers Association 510 Hot Farms, led off tonight from Ferdinand, Indiana, driving Blue Tornado, Fred Giesler.
Coming up from Evansville, Kentucky, the magnified our winner the other night, Jordan Harris.
From Greensburg, Indiana, with the Fire in the Hole International, Calvin Robbins.
Berrien Springs, Michigan, against all odds, we've got Ryan Funk.
From Fredonia, Kentucky, on the Horseplay, John Deere, Daniel Bug.
Out of Terre Haute, Indiana, the Undertaker, Cody Hamilton.
From Dale, Indiana, with the written in red, Kevin Fleck.
Pilot in the Black Viper out of Madison, Indiana, going to be Greg Lamb.
From Everfield, Indiana, with Milk Money, Brian Rexing.
Coming over from Huntingburg, Indiana, the foul play, Randy Begley.
From Murray, Kentucky, with the Wheelin' and Dealin', Mike Dixon.
Fort Branch, Indiana, the more Milk Money, going to be Dan Mercer.
From Everfeld, Indiana, with the Playing with Fire, Rusty Oath.
Pilot in the Red Stokes out of Dale, Indiana, going to be Cole Fleck.
From Brookville, Indiana, with I Got This, Darren Palmer.
Coming down out of Brownstown, Indiana, Diner Deer is going to be John Chastain.
From Versailles, Indiana, with a no-till binder, Caleb Werner.
Noblesville, Indiana, the Fuss and Fight, going to be Todd Cameron.
Starting in the 19th spot from Evansville, Indiana, the Getaway Deer, Kenny Mossberg.
Behind the wheel of Daddy's Money out of Lewistown, Ohio, going to be John Robbins.
From Tennyson, Indiana, with sheer pleasure, Matt Teitzer.
Out of Georgetown, Ohio, the endless Mr. Brian Carrington.
And starting 23rd from Dale, Indiana, driving Maximum Throttle, Philip Rinke.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give all our Hot Farm competitors a nice round of applause. As you can see, a star-studded field. Next up, we have got the NTPA Light Superstock class. Kicking that class off out of Postville, Iowa, going to be Marcus Weddleson.
Starting second from Newton, Wisconsin, driving Considered Armed and Dangerous, Cody Chizek.
Coming down out of Dayton, Minnesota, the Diggin' Fever, Esden Lane.
Starting fourth from Newton, Wisconsin, the Armed and Dangerous Excessive Force of Terry Blackbourne.
Out of Wyowega, Wisconsin, the Detonator Black, Adam Spiegelberg.
Our second diesel in class out of Tullahoma, Tennessee, the Light Trouble, Ryan Henley.
Worthington, Missouri, the Bin Buster, Colton Whitworth.
From Woodbury, Tennessee, with On the Edge, Philip Lawrence.
His second ride tonight, also out of Worthington, Missouri, going to be the Yield Express, Colton Whitworth.
From Morristown, Indiana, with the Letterbuck, John Deere, Rex Kuhn.
Coming up out of Pine Grove, Kentucky, extremely insane, Larry Phillips.
From Shandon, Ohio, the Galat Light Agco, Brent Payne.
Woodbury, Tennessee, the Over the Edge, Martin Daniel.
From Vine Grove, Kentucky, with the Straight Jacket, John Deere, Brandon Phillips.
Out of Mount Vernon, Missouri, our winner the other night, the Alter Ego, Brian Bowles.
From Springfield, Tennessee, the Tennessee Tracks of Jacob Fuqua.
Worthington, Missouri, we've got the Nano Pro John Deere, going to be Scott Whitworth.
And from Minerva, Ohio, on Bad Blood, please welcome Kyle Carlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all our Light Superstock competitors a nice round of applause as we will now move into our final class of the afternoon.
Our second class on the railroad track side, the Indiana Pulling League 3.0 Limited Pro Stock Diesel Trucks, led off by Corey Talls and Old Whitey from Worthville, Kentucky.
Coming down all the way out of Marshall, Maine, the high horsepower, going to be Luke Kenling.
Starting third, the Brothers Diesel entry out of Springville, New York, Dominic Gambino.
All the way from Odessa, Texas, the Optimus Prime, Preston Collins.
From Nottinger, Missouri, driving Megatron, Jason Wayman.
The Iron Maiden machine coming from Columbia City, Indiana, Brian Shue.
Driving Gambler out of Salem, Indiana, please welcome Raiden Perkins.
Versailles, Kentucky brings us the gunslinger of Bo Keary.
From right here in Evansville, Indiana, with running behind Adam Crone.
Next up, Chuck Dutter and the 44 Pennsylvania ride. He calls it the Common Hooker.
From Owenston, Kentucky, driving the Perkins Brothers entry, Caden Perkins.
Behind the wheel, the high roller this afternoon out of Paris, Kentucky. Got to be Michael Christopher.
In full bore out of Baltimore, Ohio, please welcome Cody Bader.
Out of Campbellsville, Kentucky, the Hardin Diesel Service number 2. Going to be Lane Hardin.
From LaGrange, Kentucky, with the gray truck, Adam Kincaid.
Richmond, Ohio, Get Lit is going to be Mr. Ed McConnell.
From Tompkinsville, Kentucky, with Juiced Up, Bronson Williams.
And our final truck out of Johnstown, New York, the overtime Jacob Campbell.
That's your starting field tonight. Everybody's headed back to get suited, booted, and get ready to kick the tires and light the fires.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, who's ready to go truck and tractor pulling this afternoon? I tell you what, first half of this weekend has been absolutely amazing. I expect nothing short of what we've already experienced so far, may even get better here. Great action the last 2 nights. And I tell you what, we have to give thanks, ladies and gentlemen. There are some folks that made the sacrifices that they didn't have to. So we enjoy the freedoms that we have here. So we can come out here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon and enjoy an NTPA tractor pull. We have the greatest country on the face of this earth. Would you all agree? Absolutely. And we have our veterans to thank for that. Our veterans who made the sacrifices. Some of them made the ultimate sacrifice coming off of Memorial Day weekend, celebrating those veterans and those citizens of the United States who made the ultimate sacrifice. So right now I would like for any veterans that we have in the stands tonight to please rise. Any veterans of our armed forces, retired, currently serving, please rise if you can. If you can't rise, please raise your hand. Police officers, firefighters, first responders, please rise with them. Give these folks a round of applause, folks. We are indebted to them. Have a lot of gratitude. Thank you so much for your service. And now performing our invocation this afternoon. From Rochester, Minnesota, NTPA Super Farm Puller, Steve Yagi.
Well, welcome everyone, and can we just take a moment and bow our heads here? First, before we pray tonight, those of you that aren't involved with tractor pulling on an every week basis, we are a family. NTPA is a family. We are a community out there in the pit area. We are a community on the road. And when good and bad things happen, we take care of each other. Kind of had a bad accident in the pit area tonight. Won't go into details, but one of the Red Resurrection Super Farm crew was hurt fairly seriously today, hauled away by our first responders, ambulances. So please keep Tad Chapman in your prayers, and Andy Schulte, that's his tractor. And everyone that assisted in this is pretty traumatic when you have happened what we've had happen. So keep us all in prayers, and we just know that we are a community and we love each other. Let's bow our head. We lost our... Okay, dear Heavenly Father, we welcome you into our presence today, and we thank you for the opportunity to share our need for speed and horsepower here today, but we are reminded of something more important, and that is our safety. We pray for the safety of each and every person here today.
Hold it close, Steve, to your mouth.
Our fans, our sponsors, everyone it takes to get this track ready for us tonight, and especially our pulling teams, our families, our pit crews that travel with us, and our drivers. Bless them with safety, bless them with wisdom, bless them with good judgment. Most of all, bless each and every one of us with respect for each other tonight. And before we get rolling here, Lord, we need to pray for the heart and soul of this great nation we love and call home. We are reminded to teach the next generation. There's a lot of people in this country going through a lot of things, and we need you, Lord, down here more now than ever. Help us teach the next generation that each and every one of us must do our part to make sure we get out of bed every day and try and leave this world a little bit better place than we found it. And one final thing, too. We were reminded again today who the real heroes are. And it's not guys like me standing down here in a driver's uniform and a helmet. It's our first responders. It's our firemen. It's our police officers. And it's the men and women that stand guard over our freedom and our liberty in this great nation every second of every day. They've fought for us. They've bled for us. And some of them did die for us. And they didn't die so we could take a knee. They died so each and every one of us could continue to be free. All gave some, and some gave all. Let's take a second and honor the ones that gave us all to be standing here today. Until we meet again, may God rest your souls in heaven. We thank and honor you along with your families and the men and women that stand guard over us today for the privilege to pledge allegiance to our flag, the privilege to sing our national anthem today, and the privilege to live in the land of the free, the home of the brave. And Lord, may we always be one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States of America. God bless Evansville, Indiana. God bless the Resurrection Polling Team and our friend Tad Chaplin. And God bless each and every one of you here today. All this in Jesus' name we prayed. All God's children said, amen.
Thanks, Steve.
And singing our national anthem today to honor America will be our very own announcer from our team, Mr. Ron Stone.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once another nice round of applause for Ron Stone. Great rendition of the national anthem. And Pulling fans here in Evansville, are you guys ready to go this afternoon? Great weather. Where would you rather be? How many called in sick to work today? Yeah, all right. That's good. We are ready to go. You guys ready to go? We got great grand national competition with the NTPA to kick off this afternoon show. All right, so once again on the grandstand side, going to be the 9,300-pound Super Farm tractor class. And over here on the train side will be the lightweight super stocks. Be coming at you, of course, both classes NTPA Grand National Competition, as this will be their second hooks for 2026. Now, by a show of hands, how many fans out there have been to all the sessions so far here at the Busch Light Nationals? Let's see those hands. All right, well, welcome back here for session number 3. And we got the sleds rolling in. We are just about ready to get things underway. So once again, fans, we are live streaming to the world on Full Pull Live. Of course, we've got that great special going with Full Pull Live. We've got the yearly subscription, $24.89 a month. We'll get you over 200 events throughout the year. You can head out over to fullpull.us and get signed up because that great deal ends, well, end of the month. So you only got one more day to go, so you better get hurrying and get signed up. You'll see all the NTPA Grand National action all summer long, all the events with the Outlaw Series, multiple regional events, and many of the standalone big events on all different platforms.
Absolutely. If you got a check 1, 2. Check.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you see out on the track, we've got our Ironman sleds, of course, Bauer Incorporated there out of Peyton, Iowa, supplying the sleds for all the competition here this weekend. We thank Vaughn and his crew for being on hand. Best in the business right there, fans, and we are ready to roll here this afternoon at the Busch Light National Session number 3. Of course, we've got the Larry Kester Memorials we're going to be giving away for the weekend winners. Going to be tabulating all those. Of course, we got our winners from the other night. We'll add up both your finishes, and if we have a tie situation, we will go to an overall distance. So that's how we're going to determine our weekend winners. And just like that, we'll get our first light super stock making its way out on the track as we'll head to Postville, Iowa, as Marcus Wedelson will be our test puller here. The Gunpowder and Lead Case International MX 190. Now, Prairie Ag Solutions, sponsor for the 6,200-pound light super stock class for 2026. Now, Marcus as our test puller, he'll be the only one that will have the option to take or turn down his run. We give him that option simply because he hasn't seen anybody else go down the track. So as we take a look here at our lineup, here for the light super stock tractors, looks like we'll have Cody Chiswick up in the number 2 spot, and then Esden Lane will come in number 3, and Terry Blackburn number 4. So those will be our first 4 over on the light super stock side as we get ready to roll this afternoon. 6,200 pounds, 505 cubic inches. Fans, are you ready to go this afternoon? Here we go. How about it, Red fans? Here this afternoon, the Gunpowder and Lead, Marcus Wedelson, a former Grand National champion back in 2013. And Charles came up about that short 1 year ago.
Indeed he did. And I'll be kind of curious to see what he does here with his test hook. 3 times on that pass, he got to the soft rev limiter. So we'll see if he thinks there's more in it or not. Daylight pull such as this, often early and keeping it's the better option, but we'll see if he thinks there's more.
All right, fans, so we'll have the instant replay up on the big screen here. Brand new here for 2026 with Full Pull Live. We got the big screen down here at the end of the track to bring you all that great action. Looks like we're ready to go super farming.
Greg Freese trying to do a double up here with Deer Tracks out of Manchester, Tennessee. The winner on Thursday night. A to B in the lane. We'll see. Now he has the Hotshot secret option as well to decide what he wants to do. The Powered by Science Test Hook Zone, where every product is lab formulated, dyno tested, and track proven. Decision time.
All right, Marcus Wedelson, let's talk real quick. You get the option here this afternoon. You take your pull.
I kept it. Generally, first hook on an afternoon track is not a bad thing, and it didn't do anything weird. It left the line pretty good. Would have liked to have the front carry just a tick better, but still can't complain. It was not a bad pass.
Folks, he's out of Iowa. He's driving his Gunpowder and Lead case, and he takes that pull this afternoon to start things off here. Underway in our light superstock class.
All right, second starter now coming up on the light super side. Cody Chiswick, considered armed and dangerous in Newton, Wisconsin. Finished 15th the other night. Not the run necessarily that he was looking for, I am sure.
Well, you just make our pass right here, of course, and he was in our winner's circle the other night, so one we can absolutely set our sled with. Mr. Freeze, you take your pull. Congratulations on a pretty solid run. Let's talk about it.
Thank you. I don't know if it's right or wrong, so we'll know when the class is over.
Absolutely, but you evaluate things, of course, and you make that pass. You have to decide, did I hit a break? Did I like where I launched? Those sorts of things. I think you had to like both those things.
I did.
Hopefully you'll be back here in that top 5 again. We'll watch and see with you.
All right, thank you.
Folks, let's give him a nice round of applause. Coming out of the state of Tennessee, driving that Deer Track entry this evening.
And right there is why you gotta love Light Superstock Tractors, fans. 6,200 pounds maximum weight, 4,000 horsepower. You get some wild rides out there. Good job of driving there for Cody Chiswick as he got pulled off to that left-hand side of the track.
Yeah, out of the hole, it drifted right on him. He was able to get it back on line where I think he wanted to be in the first place as he was getting through that momentum zone and getting maximum velocity going. Still had the tires cocked a little bit to the right, so maybe it drifted a little bit left late, but at that point, touching the brake, you don't want to do that. You just let it ride and see what you get.
Yeah, looks like we got some great track conditions. Of course, Jim Miller and his crew out there been working. Well, they started last night on today's track. Got things up, ready to go, adding water throughout the morning and watching with the, of course, the weather conditions. You get that hot sun baking on that track and make, serious situation there with getting a little bit on the hard side. So always got to stay on top of that as a track builder.
Cody Chiswick will take the lead, 3:10 and 98, and we're underway. Darius Studer at Cornfield Express. Yeah, Darian not going to quite get to Greg Freeze in the Deer Tracks on that Case IH Optum. Kent Payne horsepower underneath the hood of that tractor out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. The old, check it out, Brian Anderson. That engine's what's in that machine now.
And whether you're pulling or farming, be the GOAT with Shield and Yield from Prairie Ag Solutions, premium and generic herbicides delivered straight to your farm. Once again, Prairie Ag Solutions, proud sponsor of the Light Superstock class.
Down here at the starting line with head tech of safety, Marvin Epperson down here. Marvin, looks like we got a good start. Any changes?
No, I'll tell you what, the third day on this track, it's about as good as it's going to be right now. It looks pretty awesome, pretty consistent, so I hope they brought enough today.
Differences between preparing a track for day and night shows?
Well, every time you work it, it gets better. It settles in, and then you're finally getting enough water in it that you can maintain it. It's going to be a little hard today to keep it wet enough with the sun and the wind, but we'll give the guys time to get water on it and keep it moving.
Thanks, Marvin. Thank you, guys. Look, we're off to a smooth start here this afternoon.
Yeah, Charles, we had talked about that a little bit earlier in the program, about years ago, afternoon show, as Marcus Wedelson talked about, years ago it was, afternoon session, early hook, you went, you took it, that was it, that was the way it went, but things don't go like that anymore.
No, we're getting better about how to manage the dirt that's out here on these tracks, and we've got a little bit of tricks up our sleeve that weren't necessarily available to the industry in years past, that we can put additives into the water that is, it is safe to use. It's not going to harm anything or anyone, but it does add some continuity back to the dirt where it's able to go back together. To Miles.
And it takes awesome sponsors to help us bring events like this all across the country with part of the NTPA Grand National Circuit. Brenton Rogers is here with Apex Turbo. Apex Turbo, of course, the presenting sponsor of our Super Farm tractor class. And, sir, thanks again for your continued support and all that Apex is doing.
Yeah, no problem. We love to do it. Ryan's roots, who own Apex Turbo, started in Super Farm, so it's very dear to our hearts. So we're always welcome to help.
You also get to wear an extra hat this weekend. You're here as a crew member, of course, from your hometown folks, the Super Hick, and obviously awesome to get to kind of see you right here in your element.
Yeah, we're only about an hour and a half away from home. Mom and Dad were able to come see some family this week, so made some adjustments, learning the new tires, and maybe take a win today, hopefully.
Folks, let's give him a nice round of applause. Apex Turbo here with us, of course, Brenton Rogers representing.
Esden Lane. I think Minnesota Ticket Fever had some issues there early on the line. It felt like a lot of blow-by started coming out the bottom of that one, and I think maybe the already decompressed diesel might be a little further decompressed now. Finished 13th on Thursday night with it. We got green lights, green flags for Jason Shandorf out of Hopkins, Michigan with Risky Business.
All right, Steve Yangi, good run right there as he makes his way down the track. Of course, running out of Rochester, Minnesota, coming down and running that super farm here last few years out on the Grand National Circuit.
Pretty much right up the middle, maybe a little bit of right of center fade. We'll see where the numbers come in there for Steve. My mistake is not Jason Shandorf. It is Steve.
Well, Charles, there's something you don't want to see. Esden Lane getting towed off the track here this afternoon. Fans, let's give him a tough luck round of applause. Got a pass underneath that tractor the other day, but unfortunately this afternoon, that looks like it's going to be it there for Esden. We'll see him, of course, tonight with the red line feeder.
Oh, look, it's leaking down the side of the frame rails. We got some blood trails there of oil. Not ideal.
Yeah, just always great to see Esden out on the track, of course. All them championships, all them wins over the years, and one of your long-time runners out on the Grand National Circuit, and glad to have him here this weekend here in Evansville. So once again, light super stock side, we got Cody Chiswick, our leader currently, considered armed and dangerous at 3:10 and 98. Number 2 spot, Marcus Weddleson at 294.01.
304.79 for Steve Yankee. 304.79, number 3 currently. And let's go look at Esden Lane and Diggin' Fever. See if we can see what the issue was. Yeah, I just started blowing out from everywhere. Didn't hear a bang or anything, but I kind of wonder maybe if it was just an oil line that came loose somewhere topside. It didn't make any bad sounds. It just laid over.
All right, back to the start line here, light super stock side. We got Terry Blackburn, Schellsburg, Wisconsin, 5-time Grand National champion here in this light class. Let's see what he's got for us here this afternoon. And a nice straight pass right there for Terry Blackburn, number 8 on Thursday night. And kind of unusual there for the Chiswick tractors, a little bit outside. Normally we're used to seeing both of them tractors right there in that top 5.
Yeah, if you had no sound on that pass, visually it looked right, but if you listened to it, he waited a very long time to go all the way upstairs. He was probably 125 to 150 feet out before the RPMs got into range. Miles.
Hey guys, thanks for sending it down here. We're standing trackside with Mr. Les Corporal, of course, with Modern Motorsports. They are our presenting Galaxy sponsor for both the modified and our modified mini class. We appreciate so much you continuing support 3 years in with us, and it's been an awesome partnership.
Yeah, it's been a great deal for us too, and we enjoy doing it.
I was telling Dan just a little while ago, you guys have a busy shop. You're constantly building and constantly innovating and doing more and more, and we get to watch it all the time on the track.
Yeah, we've got 5 guys back there. This past winter, we built 4 two-wheelers, 7 minis, 3 big mods, a component, light pro tractor. So, yeah, we keep pretty busy back there. And then we have a full-line machine shop. It's called Modern Machine. And we've got 28 machinists back there, so we can build about anything you need.
Yeah, so it's just constant. So, folks, this family, of course, that have become so involved here, the Corporal family, it's awesome to have them here as a partner. It's awesome to have them here as competitors. He was our light mod class winner last night. So thanks for being in Evansville. Thanks for supporting the NTPA. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thanks for everything you guys do, too. Been great having you guys.
Folks, give him a nice round of applause. Mr. Les Corporal, we're glad to have him here, the family, of course, and our modern motorsports team.
All right, fans, so as we take a look over on the light super stock side, we should have Adam Spiegelberg, the Detonator Black, coming up next. He'll be followed by Ryan Henley, and then Colton Whitworth, his first of 2 tractors. We'll see from that camp this afternoon that Colt will be driving. Of course, Dad Scott will have his own as well. As we got, looks like another deer rolling out on the Super Farm side.
Jason Shandorf out of Hopkins, Michigan, the risky business. Finished number 6 on Thursday night with it. Backing up to not all the way to the chalk line starting position. He was the guy on Thursday night that moved that sled all the way over against that left side chalk line and opened that door of possibility for the rest of the evening and into last night as well.
Yeah, second full season of Grand National competition. They came out last year as rookies. You know, Slama Enterprises built the machine for them, and I'll tell you, they had a lot of success out there and looking to add to it here this year.
They did. Very capable machine here in High Torque Super Farm. We'll get the hook in the drawbar that can be no closer than 18 inches back of rear axle center line, no higher than 20 inches above terra firma, and also the all-important kill switch or kill cable on the air knife that can close, if need be, in front of the turbocharger, depriving this engine of its oxygen and shutting it down if we need it, and we did need it on Thursday night. Boy, there was a thought balloon above Jason's head about 1/10 of a second into that run, and it was, oh no. A lot of oil coming out the bottom, out of the breather, and boy, the chassis setup was not right. The nose went skyward instantly, and knew instantly that they had missed this one. And unfortunately may have wounded it on the far end.
All right, here we go. Detonator Black, Adam Spiegelberg. Current leader, Terry Blackburn, 3:11.02. Oh, Adam Spiegelberg, good run down that left-hand sideline. Tractor kind of drifted on him. Got to be awful close to that 3:11.02. Terry Blackburn with the Armed and Dangerous Excessive Force, our current leader. As we'll get the numbers here for Adam. Now, fans, this afternoon, track length on both the tracks here is going to be chalked out to 325 feet, approximately 40 feet wide, or as wide as your normal 2-lane highway out there. You'll see the white lines on each side of the track. And we're going to mention that, Charles, because last night in our mini rod class, we had 6 tractors go out of bounds, and something that you never see in pulling competition.
That right side chalk line last night seemed to have so much gravity the light was bending around it. It was pulling people in all over.
There we take a look at the replay board of our current leader, Terry Blackburn, 3:11.02. Nice straight pass there for Terry. And like you say, Charles, really didn't seem to come up like we've normally seen that tractor do.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It just came upstairs very late. I don't know if he was driving it that way or just something lazy in the tune-up. Well, let's have a look at Spiegelberg's lap.
Yeah, we can see right there hooking off to that left-hand side. 302.01. 302.01 for Adam Spiegelberg.
I contrast Adam's whole shot today with what he had on Thursday night. The light supers were having to be very careful. A lot of the guys having to do the Tim Engler double pump to get it off the line and get the tires hooked up. It's not a problem today in the broad daylight, the high sunshine. They are getting locked in early and able to get after it and be aggressive. Over on the high torque super farm side, we got Wayne Lamore, Boone, Iowa. And the Fear, the Deer, Wayne, and Joe Busch trade back and forth on this tractor as we watch the playback. Jason Shandor, yeah, boy, yeah, it got to breathing pretty heavy there at the tail end of that pass.
Yeah, good to see Wayne back out on the Grand National Circuit. Took a couple of years off and decided to come on back. And good to see him out on the Grand National Tour. A long time super farm puller. Actually started with the Outlaws many years ago before venturing out with the NTPA Grand National.
Wayne going down that right sideline, kind of following Steve Yeage's tire tracks, and I don't know, it's just not there on that grandstand side track to make that line activate the way that they want it to. I think still over on the left-hand side up here in the corner is the hot ticket.
Now over here on the light superstock side, fans, we have our first sled movement of the afternoon. We've got off that middle part of the track and a move it left of center as we've got Ryan Henley out of Tullahoma, Tennessee, the light trouble. Of course, our second of our diesel entries in this lightweight superstock class. Of course, this class, you can run alcohol, you can run diesel. It don't matter as long as you weigh 6,200 pounds. Oh, tough break right there, fans. On a good pass there for Ryan Henley this afternoon. Unfortunately, going to come up a little bit short.
Yeah, loaded it down and just snuffed itself out. I'd be curious to get his thoughts on that pass and see if maybe he was sort of underestimating the track, trying a little bit faster gear, figuring it was going to be loose and going to have some tire speed, and they wound up hooking harder than he thought because he did not have that problem on Thursday night.
So we'll get the numbers here at 241.95, 241.95. And right now we'll send it over to Miles Krieger. He's found an interesting spectator out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that you have been pulling for a long time when you find the comfort in just being able to park the tractor in the leader spot, not have to pace or anything, just find your way straight to the bleachers. And that is, of course, where I have found Mr. Terry Blackburn, sir. Congrats, you are our new leader.
Oh, thanks. I don't know how long that'll hold up. It probably depends on how this track holds up. When I went, it was good, and there's enough tractors in the class it could go either way, but an afternoon track normally dries out, but they do a good job here, and they'll be right on it.
Absolutely. I want to talk to you as well. Sir, you've been pulling for a long time, and I'm not trying to age you. I'm just trying to tell everybody how much experience you have. How long have you been doing this?
Well, since 1978, first time we went down the track with a tractor. Did a little bit of garden pulling before that, but yeah, it's been quite a journey all through the years, and just to see the improvements and technology and where these things are going, and the sky's the limit. There's always something new coming. I'm learning something every day.
Folks, they're very busy, of course, up in the shop in Wisconsin. They're building all kinds of horsepower and working on these tractors all the time. When you think about the Mount Rushmore of pulling in the Superstock game, this guy right here is one of them that's on that wall for me, Mr. Terry Blackburn.
Super Farm side, Chris Whitinger, Reedtown, Ohio, the J.D. Hog. Getting ready to go. Finish number 3 on Thursday night here at the Busch Light Nationals. Got it about 5 feet off that left side line. Let's see what is in it. Is he going to drift into the center or run it right up in the corner? Chris Whitinger, J.D. Hall. Stayed tight to that left side, about where I expected him to run, but ran a little bit out of steam. He'll probably be top 3, but not going to get all the way to the lead spot where Greg Freeze has the Deer Tracks parked at 320 and change.
All right, here we go. Colt Whitworth, light super side. It's a Deer. Oh, we get a fist bump. Where's the John Deere fans? Wow. He got a hold of it out there. Ground speed. He was moving.
Pretty impressive run out of the bin buster. Good way to bounce back after an 18th place finish the other night.
So now Colton will head back to the start line, get ready to go with his second ride of the afternoon. By the luck of the draw, he's just got, I believe, one tractor in between them here, so he'll move pretty quickly and get back to the start line.
Playback on J.D. Hogg. Oh, he goes to number 2, 3:12 and 68. 3:12.68. Number 2 behind Greg Freeze and Deer Tracks. That's going to make it very interesting going here. As 1 and 2 today were 1 and 3 the other night.
So there you go, fans, up on the big screen. 3:29.90, new leader. So just like that, Colton will head back towards the start line, get ready to go with his second tractor. As we should have Phil Lawrence up next, Woodbury, Tennessee, with the On the Edge Case International. Colt Whitworth will come on back his second ride, the Yield Express. And then we got Rex Kuhn with the Letterbuck in the staging lanes.
Yeah, due up next on the Super Farm side, we're looking for Tony Sietzeba and the Wolverine Deer. Brad Hart on deck, Lee Butts of the hole. Brooke Harley Ferris, you're thinking about it.
So great competition. We are early in our session 3 this afternoon, as just about to the early part of our lightweight super stocks as well as super farm classes. At the conclusion of these 2 classes, we will bring out our 3.0 diesel pickups as well as the hot farms. And of course, Charles, we've got that Larry Kester tribute that we're going to be giving away this afternoon, our weekend winners for all the classes. It's going to be some pretty interesting ceremonies for sure.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Of course, Larry, a legend in the mini rods, did a lot of good for a lot of people. Was a good role model, very popular puller, and certainly backed it up with more than his share of wins across the sport. As we're looking in on the drawbar of Wolverine Deer. Started pulling Super Farm in 1995. This guy was around when the class was created. 6 regional championships to his credit. Numerous wins at National Farm Machinery Show, but never a Grand National Champion. Going after it here in 2026. He'll be right close there in that top three. Got on the podium Thursday night.
All right, here we go, fans. Light Superstock side. Phil Lawrence, first of the Martin Daniel tractors. This one on the edge. And a real nice run right there for Phil Lawrence. Woodbury, Tennessee on the edge. Just keeping one eye on the track, one eye on that chalk line. He's made his way down there.
A lot to look at when you're making 4,000 plus horsepower. And traveling along at 30 miles an hour. You got to pay attention. 310 and 79 for the Wolverine Deer. Puts him number 3, 31079 with a 5. Number 3. And Phil Lawrence, 298.97 puts him number 5, 298 and 97.
So, of course, we talked about the Martin Daniel tractors there as we take a look at our Light Superstock leaderboard. Of course, everybody chasing that John Deere out of Missouri right now is Colton Whitworth, our current leader. Terry Blackburn sits in that number 2 spot. Of course, we'll have the second of the Martin Daniel tractors coming out here this afternoon. Phil Lawrence driving machine number 1. Usually have about 3 different drivers on these tractors throughout the summer. Of course, Martin, many years ago, Super Farm puller, moving on into the Light Superstock class. Pulls a lot there in the Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama circuits.
Get a look there at the new livery on the Full Pull Live sled for 2026. The Ironman machine. Bauer built out of Peyton, Iowa. Do have Brad Hart on that sled due up next out of Addison, Michigan with the Don't Ask Case IH machine, finishing number 8 the other night.
So Colton Whitworth is due up over here on the Light Superstock side. His second entry of the afternoon, the Yield Express. Good run for it the other night as he finished up in that number 4 spot, made the podium.
Are you wanting to change that old 6-volt starter to that of a 12-volt? You do well to consider IMI Performance if you're wanting to make this a successful upgrade. No one within the industry has had more success accomplishing this task than IMI Performance. It makes no difference whether it's a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation application. IMI replacement is not a made-in-China knockoff. It's an OE Denso designed by IMI to fit your specific application. Simply provide IMI with the original part number and application. We do the rest. High torque starters by IMI.
All right, from trackside, they tell us Super Farm going to go first here is Colton Whitworth. So, no, Light Super, they tell us now. So, Light Super, Colton Whitworth's going to go. Our current leader right now at 3:11.02. Let's see if he can back it up here with another pass, starting back over left of center. Another great pass right there for Colton Whitworth. Now, it looked like he started off, he wanted to go in that same path that he took the lead with, and then it kind of brought him back towards the middle part. And at that point, he says, well, don't want to touch that brake, let her drift out and see what happens.
He got a lot more 300 feet in a cloud of dust this time through. That sun maybe breaking down that top surface layer just a little bit on the Light Super side as Brad Hart takes off. And Brad going to insert himself here in the top 5 with the Don't Ask.
Once again, Pull It fans, we've got the official merchandise stand here at the Busch Light Nationals, located down at the end of the track over on the grandstand side. Event t-shirts are available down there, a couple different colors, all kinds of sizes. We've got retro shirts. We've got some of last year's leftover stuff down there, all kinds of goodies. Make sure you head on down there and grab yourself a great souvenir here from the Busch Light Nationals. So 3:05.95. 3:05.95 will be the distance there for Colton Whitworth with the Yield Express. 3:05.95.
3:08 and 12 for Brad Hart. 3:08.12, number 5. In iTorque Super Farm. This year marks Pico Lubricants' 30th year of involvement with the NTPA, the oldest sponsorship in all of motorsports worldwide. Pico is proud of this milestone and of its relationship with the NTPA, the competitors, and you, the fans. Central Petroleum Company manufactures the highest quality Pico lubricants with one thing in mind, that is, provide users with the greatest protection against component wear in their expensive equipment. Pico specialty products are 100% American-made, but not available in stores. For your nearest independent Pico sales distributor, or for more product info, call Pico at 1-800-553-1891 or go online to cinpico.com.
Yeah, as we take a look here at the end of the track, Colton Whitworth and the crew kind of on the short-handed side here. Colton got handed his daughter, and his wife sitting in the seat down there. So running 3 tractors, it's not as easy as you would think out there, fans. And, of course, you got to ask Team Cheezick about that. How many years ago running 6 vehicles out on the track?
Yeah.
I don't know how they kept everything straight at one point.
No, there's been several people who have done it over the years, and the Cheezick and Blackburns, they were at least all alcohol supers. I can think back to the days when the Roberts were around, and they were running, I think, 3 turbine modifieds and had 3 alcohol supers as well. And just, boy, your hair stands on end trying to even conceive of it all.
Yeah, the end of the night, which one was what?
Yeah.
Everything in between, but. See Pipit Bio on the side of Colton's tractor, new sponsor for him here for 2026 on the Yield Express ride. Of course, that was the Grand National Champion tractor from 1 year ago. Actually, the last 2.
Lee Butts getting bracked in here with the Press On International here in Super Farm. He finished number 4 on Thursday night, and despite that, he had to make a turbocharger change to be ready for today because the old one suffered some foreign object damage that after seeing the pictures of it after that 4th place run, I don't know how it didn't completely fly apart.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Something went through it.
Something went through it.
And Colton Whitworth, I'm telling you, sir, I'm going to go ahead and etch that one as one of the passes of 2026 that took the lead. That thing was fantastic.
Yeah, there were 2 amazing passes. Couldn't be happier. They felt great. Got to appreciate Jim did a heck of a job on the track. Couldn't be happier.
Absolutely, sir. Well, Dad's battle a little later in the class, but 3 tractors, hard running, no question about it. What do you think about being here in Evansville, Indiana on a Saturday afternoon?
We love being here. Appreciate Busch Light, Full Pull, NTPA, everyone that puts this on. We love coming here.
Folks, he's in the top spot right now. He's going to sit back and watch very comfortably for these next few tractors.
Thank you.
All right, here we go, fans. Super stock side. We got one of the toughest, South Central Indiana Rex Kuhn. And that potent Letterbuck, Morristown, Indiana. Number 2 Grand National points, a former Grand National champion. How about it, John Deere fans? He's still out there. Oh, God awful close on that right side to that white chalk line. Kind of a wild run there. Would have straightened it out. Probably would have been our new leader. But
I would think so. But yeah, it got drifted, and he just had no choice but to let it go. As we have green flags up for Lee Butts. Press on. Super Farm side, Greg Freeze still leading, 3:20 and 51.
Fans up on the big screen, we see 300.94 for the Letterbuck of Rex Kuhn. As you can see, over to that left side, then brought it back around there and getting close to that right side. And Rex said, that's enough here. We're not going to try to push the envelope there. Of course, any portion of that vehicle touches those white lines, you are DQ'd. Sled can touch it. That don't matter. Just the pulling vehicle touches.
Yep.
Yeah, there
right
was
down there
slow
to
it down.
Got her stop and sneezed it. And 3:12 and 19 for Lee Butts. Number 3, 3:12.19. Yeah, and on Super Farm, we mentioned it during the prayer to start the program that Tad Chapman, the crew member for Andy Schultz Red Resurrection team, injured this morning in an accident back in the pit area. He is alert. He's in good spirits, being prepped for surgery. He's going to be okay, and that's positive news to get updated. We wanted to pass that along to you. And we're praying for him and happy to hear the good news.
Absolutely. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved with that. But, yeah, like you say, a great positive update right there. Would love to hear that. So Larry Phillips, Vine Grove, Kentucky. First of the 2 Phillips tractors we'll see here this afternoon. Father and son pulling team. Dad gets up number 1 here. Finished number 9 the other night. Move up a little bit with the extremely insane Case International MX210. Number 9 in Grand National points 1 year ago. Let's see what he's got for us this afternoon. How about it, Red fans? Need to get some red up there. Colton Whitworth, our current leader, 3:29.90. Larry got to get down close. As you can see, our marker down there, of course, signifies that lead distance out there. In pulling, we measure to the front of the sled, not actually the pulling vehicle. So laser measurement will get us here in just a second.
Green lights, green flags for Brooke Ferris out of Addison, Michigan. The Assorted Nuts Case 2294. Finish number 13 Thursday night. That's going to be another one getting on the podium here. Top 5 going to get shaken up again on that grandstand side.
Yeah, Charles, I always like to talk about, the closeness you see in the Super Farm class. Of course, 9,300 pounds, 640 cubic inches, but that turbocharger, 3 inches in, 3 inches out, the big equalizer.
Indeed it is. They can't wind these engines up too much because the airflow simply is not there from the charger itself. Typically leave the line 4,700 to 5,300 RPM down track. It will pull down in the mid 3s or lower. And you got to grunt for it. You got to use that torque, that leverage on the crankshaft. 307.28, number 8. 307 and 28 for Assorted Nuts.
Now, Super Farm started on the Grand National Circuit back in 2003. Is, of course, the economy class, as they always say when a class starts out.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, right. And we were looking, less than 1,000 horsepower at one point when these tractors started. Yeah, and then we're upwards, 1,700 right about now, 17, touching 18?
Touching 18, maybe a little more. That they will admit to us anyway.
Exactly, yeah. You always get dyno numbers, right?
Yeah.
Dyno numbers. Super competitive, the Super Farm tractors. As we will make our way over to the light super stock side. Brett Payne, Shandon, Ohio, behind the wheel of the Galat light tractor. And of course, Brent had a nice run the other day with this tractor. Kind of been a couple bugs here and there trying to get everything worked out of this tractor. So we'll see Brent's son, Johnny, here tonight in the light modified class.
Sure sounded good the other night. I mean, it didn't quite, the end result didn't bear it out, but it was a good, clean run. Sounded good.
Yep.
Behaved itself.
Yeah, number 7 the other night. Number 7 out of a field of 18. Just over that halfway point over here on the train side. We'll have the 3-0 diesel trucks. Will follow them here this afternoon.
They put a lot of thought and effort into this. They call it Galat Light. It is light. Let me tell you, if you get a chance to get up close and personal with it in the pit area, it's like, man, there's the only thing here is tires and stacks. Like, where's the tractor? But it has it where it needs it and nothing more.
So a couple of that goes in this class this afternoon. This is the first. Brent going to spot that sled right of center, kind of trying something a little different here.
Boy.
Oh, man. Hate to see that. Sneezed on him right there, fans. That, unfortunately, will be the measurement for him this afternoon. Let's give him a tough luck round of applause. Brent Payne out of Shandon, Ohio.
Drifting right on him. He was not close enough to the stripe that makes me think that he throttle chopped it himself. It just sneezed, as you said. It laid down. Dan Schulte, the Binder Express out of Dyersville, Iowa. Dan is going to be a lot happier with that lap. Finished top 3 in Grand National points last year, but finished 15th the other night. So he is wanting to play catch up here a little bit tonight and get back in the thick of the points race here with the Binder Express.
And ladies and gentlemen, we got to make the announcement for this afternoon show. Now, at the conclusion of this afternoon show, we need all blankets, everything. You cannot reserve your seats. You have to take all that with you. And then we'll let you back in the grandstand before the show. Now, those folks on the hill, if you could just put your seats off to the side. We can't have everything reserved as per the fairgrounds, so you'll have to come back in and get your seats a little bit later on. So thanks for the understanding on that, and we'll try to remind you throughout the afternoon. Thank you.
Down here in the staging area with Thursday night's light super stock winner, Brian Bowles out of Mount Vernon, Missouri. Any difference in strategy between Thursday night and this afternoon show here?
Yeah, quite a bit. Track's taking more power today, and it need a little bit more nose weight probably, and a little less drawbar. It'll get a hold of you. You're going to have to get on it a lot quicker than we did the other night.
So get off that clutch, get into power as soon as possible.
Yep. Going to need to let her go pretty quick.
Missouri boys are doing pretty good out here. Colton Whitworth hanging on to the lead right now. You got something for it?
I don't know. We'll find out. He made a monster run.
Thanks. Brian Bowles from Mount Vernon, Missouri. Thursday night's winner. Going to give it a shot here. Just a couple more tractors.
All right, so Thursday night's winner. We got Thursday night's second place runner right now on the start line. Martin Daniel, Woodbury, Tennessee, over the edge. And he was our test puller the other night and held on to that number 2 spot. We take a look at our current leaderboard here in our Prairie Ag Solutions Light Supers. Ben Buster lead the way at 329.90. All right, looks like just having a little issue down there on the start line. We'll get the slack out of the chain. No jerk starts and pulling. Must start with a tight hitch. Here we take a look. Yep, it is tight. We are ready to go. Green flags all over. Here comes Martin Daniel. Another good run right there for the over the edge machine. This is Martin's newest tractor out on the circuit. Started with one of these light supers, and then before you know it, you got a whole trailer full of them. Good to see Martin on the Grand National Circuit over the last couple of years. We've seen some periodic runs with him, and always fares very well against the Grand National regulars.
On the Super Farm side out of Francisco, Indiana, nearby, the high-maintenance boxcar Magnum, Josh Miley, did not have a good night, finishing 19th. on Thursday. I'd like to get some redemption here.
How about it? We got any Josh Miley fans out there this afternoon? Where are you? The hometown guy.
Josh probably going to be top 6, top 5. Would be real close. Cowtails are made with wholesome wheat flour and real dairy cream and come in a variety of flavors, including original caramel, brownie, caramel apple, strawberry smoothie, and honey bun. Cowtails, pull some tail.
Yeah, Josh, a 4-time PPL champion. Glad to have him on hand here this weekend. And, of course, this year, February, the National Farm Machinery Show finally got that championship he'd been looking for. Over 20 straight years running the farm show, and got that championship on Saturday night. So we'll take a look here at the big screen as we got the replay for Martin Daniel. We'll get the numbers in here for him. See that front end up in the air, 6,200 pounds. Not a whole lot of weight to play with out there. Usually everything out front on these tractors, 280 and 97, 280.97.
Bright sunshine, really, paint job on that tractor just goes miles deep, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, and of course, you bring that up, Charles. We talked about the open pit area here at the Busch Light Nationals. Between sessions, we encourage you, get out in the pit area, take a look at these vehicles, talk to the pullers. Most of them are going to be getting ready for tonight. Pretty cool, everybody tuning things up. Yeah, get out in the pit area, get some autographs, take pictures. You're more than welcome to get out there.
Yeah, it was Rich Schaefer. We were talking to him last night. He made the point, and it's true. Going out there, I mean, this is a tractor pull, but you go out there and it looks like a car show. These guys put the extra effort in to have all those details about their machinery. They don't have to. It doesn't make it go any farther down the track. They want to.
Yep, and also, get some stories behind the unique names. You try to bring out some of them, but yeah, like, hey, where did that name come from? And
some of them even have 2 names. The second one we can't say.
Yeah, we can't repeat that one. But all right, back to the starting line here. Brandon Phillips, Vine Grove, Kentucky, the straight jacket.
And so named because the other tractors in the stables are red ones called Insanity and Extremely Insane. Well, the deer one's got to control the insanity.
Got to control it. Absolutely. Put that straight jacket on it. Good to see Brandon here. 10th in the Grand National points 1 year ago. John Deere 7310R. It's the Phillips family in the contracting business. And looks like pretty much going to end up at about the same spot as Dad did here.
Yeah, I would
for
say.
Brandon Phillips.
I think what Marcus said in his interview after his test, we'll get that after John Silsby here at the Crop Doctor. Yeah, after that run for John Silsby, I think it would prove true for both tracks. That early run with all the sunshine and the wind that we have today. We've not really had any wind here this weekend. We do today. The track is simply going to dry out. There is nothing we can do about it. So that early hook probably an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to that name thing we were just talking about, John Silsby's the crop doctor. He actually is a crop doctor.
He is, that's right. Yeah, ag consulting business and, making better crops is his day job in Southwest Michigan.
So back up to the big screen here is 290.04. 290.04 for Brandon Phillips this afternoon. 290.04. And that'll put him in that number 10 spot.
3:07:60 for John Silsby. 3:07:60. Been a busy summer for him, spring for him up there or down there in Union City, Michigan. Already this summer he's had a couple of tornadoes within a mile of the house already to start the year. And boy, we're just hoping that's over with for the season.
Yeah, definitely don't like to see that. Boy, that was a nasty one. Saw that one on the national news. And prayers go out to everybody involved with that one. Now, Charles, the other night we talked about with the Super Farm class as far as, Michigan is a hotbed for them.
It is.
As well as Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Why is that? Was it just because that class started in those areas? I know up north, Minnesota, Wisconsin area, but Michigan to me is kind of like one of those things like, how come it became just such a hotbed for Super Farms?
I think a combination of it starting there, but also the companies that really got behind it and backed it are located in places like that. You think of Salem Bean Performance and Wipeout in Northwest Ohio being local for the Michigan, Ohio guys to build those out. And Wisconsin's got its share of very high-level builders of Super Farm iron as well. And Joe Busch Ag Repair, too, out in Iowa, really behind that class. So, I think really it's where it started, but it's also where it's supported as well. There was a time in the state of Michigan, not true now, but there was a time around 2010, 2012, I think we had 32 Super Farms just in the state.
Wow, yeah, that, like I say, Michigan, Wisconsin, your two big hotbeds for Super Farm tractors, and yeah, keeping it going strong, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Brian Bowles backing in over on the light Superstock side, our winner from Thursday night, as he comes back from the southwest corner of Missouri, Mount Vernon, Missouri. Calls this tractor the Alter Ego New Holland TG285. Charles, we kind of touched on that the other day. Financial advisor.
Yeah.
And numerous interviews over the years. We kind of chuckle about that. A financial advisor involved in tractor pulling. It just kind of doesn't add up.
Obviously, he knows how to save enough to do it, so he's doing something right.
Absolutely. Former Pro Stock runner before moving on up here to light Super Stocks. Let's see if he can double up. Tractor drifted on him over to that left side, and you could see at the very last moment there, he's like, all right, I got to touch that brake.
Yeah. It was starting to get away from him, and he knew it. Yep, just that little course correction.
Just waiting to the last possible minute. And, well, as we saw last night in the mini class, that white line was alive and grabbing him last night.
There's a pretty strong pass for Stan Warner, the Hammer and Hank. He was an early hook on Thursday night, led the class for quite some time until they figured out that left side was a spot to go, and guys started getting around him and dropped him down to number 11. But I think with that lap, he'll be right there, top 5.
So pull distance for Brian Bowles comes in at 294.10, 294.10. We'll put him in that number 8 spot, 294.10. With 3 left to go over here on the light Superstock side. We've got a Case International, we've got a John Deere, and an Ag Code to take us home on the light Superstock side.
312.105 for Hammer and Hank up to number 4. 312.10, 4 spot.
That's an all-star tournament weekend, so my daughter will play all-star.
Brooke Ferris and Absolutely Nuts do up next. David Batliner on deck. Joe Seeley in the hold.
And fans, we invite you over to the Busch Light Gardens down here at the end of the track. We've got ice cold, the Busch Light down here, all kinds of other flavors as well, other alcoholic drinks up there if you are of age. Nice hot afternoon. Come on over, grab yourself an ice cold Busch Light, of course, proud sponsor of the Busch Light Nationals. So Jacob Buquay, Springfield, Tennessee. The Tennessee tracks, of course, second generation puller. Unfortunately lost his dad Jay a few years back, and carrying on that tradition down there in Springfield, Tennessee, is young Jacob over the years, light super stock tractors, run 2-wheel drives, and you never know with this guy. He can show up and bite you, and he did the other day. Good run in that number 5 spot, and in contention for that Larry Kester tribute that we're going to be giving away here for the overall weekend winners in all classes.
Another tractor that is excellently detailed, very beautiful, excellent paintwork. I personally am a bit of a fan of non-OEM colors, whether they go completely off-piste about it or just change the shade, but I like that. Something a little bit different, differentiates the machine from all the others, and a beautiful looking machine here at the Tennessee tracks.
Yeah, but you see that color and you think Tennessee tracks.
You do,
I mean,
yes.
just that darker shade, and when that you see that hood, you're like, hey, Tennessee tracks, and it's good running pulling team out of Springfield, Tennessee.
Not quite a maroon, not quite a candy apple. It's kind of in between there, but yeah, you see an 88 series this color, and you don't have to see any graphics,
So going to spot the sled right down the center here. Nobody has come close. 329.90. Colt Whitworth's leading distance with that John Deere. Well, I didn't want to jinx anything with that white line, but we got one here this afternoon. Tough break there for Jacob Fuqua. Be interesting to see on the replay if he's stabbing that brake. Looked like he was. It just kind of.
I reckon he was trying to kick it clear through the firewall, but it just was not coming around at all. Did not want to grab. As Brooke Ferris, number 12 finisher the other night, absolutely nuts. He drifts over the right-hand side a little bit. Dan, we talk about Super Farms in Michigan and OG Super Farms in particular. This tractor was around when Super Farm first got started. It's the old Never Satisfied of Ryan Salenby.
Yeah, the old Never Satisfied. Fans, tough luck round of applause for Jacob Fuqua this afternoon. Unfortunately, going to be a DQ. Went over that white line. So will be scored as a disqualification. So Scott Whitworth, Dad's turn over on the light superstock side. He'll bring out the Nano Pro John Deere, and we will fill out the class with Kyle Carlin with the Bad Blood. Whether you're pulling or farming, be the GOAT all season long. From burn down to fungicide, timing, shield, and yield keeps you covered with Prairie Ag Solutions. Delivery right to the farm. Once again, Prairie Ag Solutions, proud sponsor, Light Superstock class for 2026.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with the excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. In fact, if you go on O'ReillyAuto.com, I believe it's part number 121G. You can get your own flux capacitor and go back to the future.
Not familiar with the O'Reilly numbers, but very familiar with the Napa numbers.
I think that's what it is, because it's 1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott!
All right, final Deere of the afternoon, light superstock side. Scott Whitworth, Worthington, Missouri, the Nano Pro, a sponsored ride. This one here at John Deere 7930. Brought this tractor out. Now these guys, a lot of equipment in the garage back home, and they got stuff coming in, stuff going out. You just never know what they've got going on. Always get the update every now and then. Got the big Superstock open tractor sitting back in the shed. That's going to be ready to go this summer. So Dad going after son here in light superstock action. Scott Whitworth on the starting line. The Nano Pro John Deere. 329 and 90. It's what it's going to take. Nice run right there for Scott Whitworth. Kept it pretty much right down the center. kind of caught it before it got violent, like some of the other ones we've seen getting hooked off to the left side, right side. It don't matter. It's taking them all over out there.
David Batliner in the Super Hick. The Massey Ferguson was Sisu power underneath the hood. David right up the middle. Probably on the outside of the top 10, unfortunately, for the Super Hick.
Yeah, great to see the Batliners on hand here this weekend. That sharp-looking Massey Ferguson out there. And, of course, from my hometown, Floyd Knobs, Indiana, right over the hill.
Beautiful machine. Got to see it for the first time. I did anyway at Bowling Green last August.
Yeah, looking to go full-time on the Grand National Circuit this summer. First up, we'll get the distance here for Scott Whitworth at 290.04, 290.04, just outside of that top 10 here tonight, 290.04. So we are down to one. Light Superstock side as Kyle Carlin, Minerva, Ohio, with the Mad Blood waiting in the wings.
297.38 for the Super Hick, 297.38. We'll have him unfortunately mired way down in 15th spot after a 14th place result on Thursday night. We're down to 2 to go in High Torque Super Far.
Once again, fans, we want to remind you this afternoon, I know it's a little bit stuffy, a little bit hot out there. Make sure you do stay hydrated all afternoon long, please, sitting out in the sun. Those folks over there on the sitting out in the sun, you're more than welcome to come on over to the grandstand side in the shade. If that heat gets a little bit tough for you, once again, it's open seating here at the Busch Light Nationals.
When it's time for new tires, waiting isn't an option. Mitas is your premier manufacturer of high-quality radial tires for all your agricultural needs. Proudly produced in Charles City, Iowa, right in the heart of American farm country. You think you like having that kind of quality? That close to home.
So Kyle Carlin, our final word here at Light Superstock this afternoon, session number 2. Of course, going to crown our weekend champion here for the Light Supers. Now, Kyle going to spot that sled over left of center. Say there's been no special spot out there all afternoon. They've been looking, they've been trying, you name it, they've been there. Kyle, a second-generation puller. Dad Gary ran the D21. We talked about that last night with the D21 in the pro stock ranks. Dad Gary was one of those guys to do so.
Kyle, pretty handy and talented, too, with doing the sheet metal work and bodying some of these tractors. I think of at least, 3 here this weekend that he had done the tin work on, and does a very good job making these machines look as nice as they do.
Oh, Kyle Carlin. Boy, we saw that one. Looked like it was going to cross-track it, and the track said, send him back over to the left-hand side.
Boy, the way the Light Supers have been treated by this track, you would almost think there's a crown in the middle. It's just shedding everybody toward the sidelines. Let's see if he caught it or not. Nope. Stayed in. Hard to tell from our seating position, but he kept her in.
Yeah, I kept her in, and I'm just going back, looking at the class and thinking, the only 2 tractors we saw there that went straight were 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So pull distance 3:04.98, 3:04.98, and that'll put him on the podium. So good run right there, 3:04.98.
Joe Seeley, Russellville, Kentucky, the dear friend unharnessed, had to scratch on Thursday night, but he's going to get a chance to make a go here in session number 3.
start to watch out here all our Super Farm class from the very beginning of the class. Of course, Greg Freese came out, laid down the pass with that deer tracks entry, of course, out of Tennessee. And right after they parked the tractor, kind of moved themselves right over there into the most shady spot we might have here in the fairgrounds of Vanderburgh County. And of course, the Freese family standing right there, patiently watching as all of the Super Farm tractor class going right at their best, right there on the grandstand track. So they're very patiently waiting, watching to see what can come our way.
So once again, we will need our top 5 light supers this afternoon. Top 5 light supers. Start making your way to the winner's circle.
Joe Seeley with a little bit of a problem there getting it out of the hole. He can go back to the starting line, use one of his 2 opportunities, come out beyond 100 feet. He'll be stuck with whatever happens here. Your dear friend unharnessed. And the tracker just did not want to go all the way upstairs for him. Was bogging and lugging. He'll be stuck back there about 245. Yeah, just way downstairs on RPMs. He'll stop at 257.93. 257.93 for Joe Seeley.
All right, fans, so up on the big screen here, we'll have our field rundown. So congratulations to the Midbuster team. And Colton Whitworth, he'll be the winner this afternoon. Terry Blackburn finish up in that number 2 spot. Looks like Cody Chiswick in that number 3 spot. Number 4 will be Mr. Whitworth, and number 5, rounding out that top 5 this afternoon, will be Kyle Carlin, our last tractor in the class, all the way down to number 10 spot, our first runner in the class this afternoon, Marcus Wedelson. And now we'll check out page number 2 here. So Colton Whitworth, lead you to the winner's circle, Terry Blackburn, Cody Chiswick, and Kyle Carlin. Here we take a look 11 through 18 in our field, all the way down to number 18 spot there for the Tennessee tracks of Jacob Fuquay, unfortunately out of bounds this afternoon. Well, fans, let's give all our light super competitors a nice round of applause. Great class as they finish off their session here at the Busch Light Nationals. And, of course, we will crown our first Larry Kester Tribute Class Champion coming up. Now, we do have an important announcement to make back in the pit area. We need all the tractors that are down in the runoff area. We need you to clear those tractors out. We are completely blocked down there. So if you just ran either Super Farm, Light Super, we need to have some of those tractors moved out of there because we are completely blocked. Thank you.
One more to go in High Torque Super Farm. Alex Schwenk, Jasper, Indiana. And the running bike, Buck Wild, John Deere, finished number 16. And Thursday night's running, maybe the last one to go, Greg Freese trying to hang on with the deer tracks and see if he can double here at the Busch Light Nationals and capture that Larry Kester Tribute Trophy for High Torque Super Farm. Be left of center for the starting position down there for the JD to go off the line. Got those small wheel weights in the rear rims that are on ball bearings, so they don't necessarily rotate or give any rotational weight to them. But this all pulling down on the axle. That's something that Josh Miley really actually puts together, and oddly doesn't have him on his own tractor any longer, but did for a long time. And you'll see others that have that set up in there.
And once again, fans, Dan Mayer, Charles Post joining you from under our shaded spot down here. We got Miles Krieger down trackside in that hot sun, and we've got Ron Stone down at the starting line. But great competition this afternoon. Yep. We've just finished up our first classes, guys, and boy, we've got a big day of pulling. We got 2 more classes this afternoon, and then we've got the 6 classes coming up for session number 4. Get ready.
Yeah, don't miss it. Alex Schwenk has green flags flying, running Buck Wild. Boy, runs right out of steam at the end. Pulled down to nothing.
Yeah, good to see the Schwenk tractor back out on the circuits there. The Running Buck Wild, of course, Alex, part of the younger part of the team right there. Of course, Andy and Sean over the years piloting his tractor, running out on the national circuits. All right, so at this point here, we will take our track crew out there, and they will get things set up for our next two classes coming up. Of course, we got two big victory lanes coming up here. So all pullers in the lights class as well as the Super Farm class that are in the top 5, we need you to the winner's circle.
289.72 for Alex Schwenk. 289.72. And the Deer Tracks. Greg Fries doubles up to capture the Larry Kester Tribute Trophy here. Finishing number 2, J.D. Honkers Weininger. Leibot's press on. A third and a fourth for him. Hammer and Hank Stan Ward at number 4. And Tony Seitzma back-to-back 5th spots with Wolverine Deer. Cornfield Express number 6. The Binder Express number 7. Don't Ask Grant Hart number 8. The Crop Doctor John Silsby at number 9. Wayne Lamore, Fear of the Deer, rounds out our top 10 in Super Farm. The Assorted Nuts at number 11. High Maintenance Josh Miley, number 12. Steve Yagi, Holy Smokes, number 13. The Absolutely Nuts, number 14. Batliner Super Hick, number 15. The Risky Business, the Shandorf team at number 16. Running Buck Wild, 17th. And Dear Friend Unharnessed, Joe Seeley, rounds out Super Farm.
Well, congratulations to the Freeze team, the all-time winners in Super Farm competition. They'll add 2 check marks to their win total here this weekend as they lead all Super Farm competitors with 20 Grand National victories. So congratulations, that tough team out of Tennessee.